Classic cars have always captured our hearts and imagination. Be it classic or young timers, every such car encapsulates a part of history in them. I doubt it will be an exaggeration to say that every classic car is a moving time machine. Hi everyone, my name is Diana Pandol and I am a race car driver and automobile enthusiast with a special soft corner for classic cars. Today I am here at one of the service centers run by Shaman Wheels, where some of the most beautiful classic timepieces are being refurbished right here behind us. I'm accompanied by some of my good friends and luminaries for a discussion on classic cars of Mercedes-Benz. We have here with us today Perseus Bandrawala, columnist of Autocar India and a curator for the Mercedes-Benz Classic Car Rally in India. And here we have Reborn Patel, an automobile enthusiast and collector with a focus on modern classics. He is instrumental in driving the young timer movement. And last but not the least, we have Amar Sheth, managing director of Group Shaman, well known for his passion for modern classics as well as classic cars. So getting right down to the interesting part, what has brought about the resurgence of interest in classic Mercedes-Benz and youngtimer Benzes?
So I think India has always been Mercedes country, right from the time of the Maharajas who commissioned the most exotic Mercedes cars in the country to down to present times with the birth of the Mercedes-Benz Classic Car Rally curated by our friend Perseus right here. We've seen classics, we've seen young classics, and that's also led to a happy coexistence between both worlds of the classics and the youngtimer movement spearheaded by Amar and I, and many others as well. And I think, a star has always been a symbol for aspiration in this country. It's a symbol of luxury, and no other brand has heritage. And if there's one thing about this country, it's about the heritage that, we celebrate, about things that are from time immemorial, and we just love to see these beauties out here. And it's a globally recognized place in the classic movement. So I think that's, we've seen people growing year on year from the first Mercedes-Benz Classic Car Rally down to the last one, which is the 6th iteration. And it's only growing. I think the number of cars that Amar sir has restored, it just keeps growing exponentially each year.
What about your take on it?
So, I think what's really fueling the passion for modern classics or young timers, as we're referring them to, is that, a lot of us who were born in the 80s and 90s are used to seeing these cars in the movies, on the wall posters that we have. And, India is still a very young country when it comes to modern classics and future classics. And it's nice to see that, we've harnessed the passion that people have for modern classic cars. And of course, there were always classics and serious classic car collectors. But one of the things we did with the Mercedes-Benz Classic Car Show was we always encouraged people to bring in modern classics and young timers to the show. So I think we always allowed cars from the 80s and like the 123s and the 126s. For the last 4 editions or so, we've been allowing even the Indian-made W124 series. So we've been taking modern classics very seriously and future classics very seriously. As well as, this has gone a long way in, getting a lot of new enthusiasts excited about classic cars in the country.
Yeah, I think I would tend to agree with Reo and Perseus. The whole classic car movement has turned on its head, I think, in the last 5 years. They've got much more visibility. It has become much more collectible. Prices have gone up. I think that has also helped the collectors keep them in good shape. Earlier, whatever the cars used to trade at were not justifying the cost of repair or keeping them in good nick. But now the value of these cars have increased drastically. And there have been newer avenues for them to trade, so they are able to realize that money into their pockets. If we look at ourselves as Shaman, as a dealership, in 2013 we had a roadshow of Mercedes-Benz cars flagged off from our Churchgate location, where we saw the amount of interest coming in, And over the years, I think due to well-wishers like Reborn and Perseus and LS Ravi, we've certainly ventured and got more deeper into this whole restoration business. As you can see around me today, we've got a large number of cars filling our base, which belong to a generation which is much older. Last year we restored 9 of them. This year we are already at around 19. So I'm sure that number is going to grow, and people are willing to come to an authorized dealership and spend money to make their car really worthwhile and an icon on the road.
Let me ask you guys something that we all want to know. What really goes into restoring and maintaining a classic car?
Oh, there's so much. There's mechanicals, there's electricals, there's cosmetics, there's hard to find parts at some level, but the internet just makes the world a very small place. You have, if you restore it at Shaman, you have authorized parts. Shaman also lets you get parts from anywhere in the world to the workshop, and they fit it for you. It's a one-stop shop for everything that you could possibly need to, recreate these beauties or resurrect them, as the case may be, depending on your ambition. I think we've all had fantastic experiences with our cars over here, and I'm sure you can back me up.
So I think the main thing is the internet, because with the internet today you have access to any kind of information or almost everything you need to know about your car. To start with, we have a great number of websites which have what we call a VIN decoder, and once you have a VIN decoder, you can get any sort of spare parts that you want for your car. I think Mercedes-Benz has over the years really given us great support in terms of spare parts and just general support towards their customers for their classic cars. I believe there's also a healthy discount that Mercedes-Benz gives on classic cars and modern classic cars on their spare parts in India through authorized workshops. I think Amar can talk about them later. What is really helping people to get their old cars back on the road, or to resurrect cars, or just keep well-maintained cars going, is the fact that there's an immense amount of support of spare parts and regular routine parts that you need all over the internet. And you can buy these parts, give them to Shaman, and they fix them for you. And at the same time, I think, Diana, the main thing about this whole thing, why modern classic cars and classic cars are, and what you need to keep them on the road, is that you need something which is a 360-degree one-stop solution, like Rayo said.
Yeah.
Where you have, where you have expertise on the mechanicals, where you have expertise on the body shop, you have expertise on the other things that really go into maintaining.
And it's also a Mercedes level of paint. It's a Mercedes level of metal work.
Absolutely.
People are auditing the work that's done here by Mercedes, and that's stunning.
Yeah.
I think, like you rightly said, the internet is the biggest enabler to make all this easier. So not only do you get a lot of parts sourcing done, which like was mentioned, we are more than happy to fix for you if you are able to import it yourself, but you're also able to get a lot of expert advice. I think that is one thing which is a larger enabler than the parts itself. You have people who have worked on these cars across the world. Though you have people at classic centers across the world available to counsel you where you're going right, where you're going wrong. There are enthusiasts who are just willing to share their knowledge. I think that is something that we do leverage on, and that is available widely and across. Maybe you need to translate it some of the times, but it is available. Luckily for us, we have a team that has handled Mercedes-Benz right since its entry into India. So like the cars, they are also classic, and I'm happy that we have them on board with us on full-time assignment basis. The team is led by Shailendra Solanki, and a lot of his people have worked on these cars with their own hands over the years. So that is helping us quite a lot.
That's great. Thank you so much for all your inputs. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to go and take a look at these awesome cars right now.